Okay, welcome to this tutorial to create buildings outside and limited inside using the object creator in XVR. To create the buildings, we need to take pictures, edit them in an edit program, and then import them into XVR. And I will show you how to do that. What I use is my own photograph, which I have taken myself. This is photographs of the interior of my office, which I just took. I will show you how, if you are not able to take pictures of the building outside, you can actually use Google Maps for it, or anyway Google to find pictures. I will be using Paint.net, which is one of the available paint software programs. I personally like Paint because it's a relatively simple program to work with. You can download Paint.net from getpaint.net. It is a free software, however you are requested to do a donation, which I do on a yearly basis. You can use Photoshop, you can use something else. GIMP, for example, is another one you could use. I'll be showing you using Paint.net. So let's start with the outside of the building. Before we go into XVR, we need to create pictures of the building which are perpendicular, or which are straight ahead. I'll show you by taking a picture which is not perpendicular. What I use in Google is, for example, I drag my what do they call it, ground view or street view, and I will have a look at my office. This is my office. This is the garage of my landlord, but my office is actually right behind here. So what I'll do is I'll first take a wrong picture. The way I do that is I actually make it full screen. I hit the print screen button. I go to my paint program. I paste it, edit, paste. I will show it using the menu right now. Later on in this tutorial, I'll be using my shortcut keys, so I'm not going to the menu every time you see me paste something. I'm pasting it. I ask it to expand the canvas so that I have the full picture. And then I use my tools, my crop tool mainly. So that is I choose the selection here. I select the piece of the image that I want to have. There we go. And I go to Image Crop to Selection. I can now save this as file, save as a PNG. So this is outside of Office Overview. And I can save it. Let's go to XVR to show you what this looks like in XVR. So this is a wrong example. What's important before you can start building using the object creator in XVR, you have to copy the images to the right folder inside XVR. So in the XVR Control Center, you actually have the button down here to open the XVR storage location. And the key is that the images that you are using are actually in the images folder. And as you can see, I've got a lot in there, and my advice is always make sure that you organize yourself properly. So in this case, I'm going to create a new folder, and I will call that NLD Netherlands CrisisSim Office. I'll open that folder. This is where I had saved the pictures that I just showed you. I will copy all of these and paste them in here. And right now, if you go into XVR, as you can see in the background, I had already opened XVR. You will be able to find these images. How do you find them? By going to your logical items and selecting Object Creator. Now, we're going to focus at the Object Creator one side today, and later on in the next lesson I will show you the six-sided one. The key difference is the one-sided, if you paste an image on it, it shows on all sides. With the six-sided one, you can select an image for every side, but I'm going to skip that for now. Let's focus at the one-sided one to show you what it looks like if you do not take the right pictures. First of all, this is a normal object like you have in XVR, which allows you to change the scale, for example, change the height, and, for example, change the length, in this case the depth. So I'm turning it into a facade, really a Hollywood facade. If the slider bar is too rough, then you can always use the numbers right here. And with the select image button here, I can actually go to the folder in which I just pasted all my images. Remember, I called it NLD CrisisSim Office. If I open that, these are the pictures that I have in there. And the wrong image that I just created was actually this one right here. And as you can see, it goes into XVR like a normal picture, but it doesn't look good because it has perspective in it. What you need to do is create images without perspective. Now, I need perpendicular pictures. Perpendicular, so I need to go back to my Google Street View. I need to make sure that it's straight ahead. Now this picture, of course, we could have taken ourselves outside. I just want to show you how much you can already achieve using Google Street View. Again, I'm hitting the print screen button. I am going back to my paint program. I'm going to create a new file. I will paste it using my shortcut. And now my advice is, for every building, cut it up into sections. So I'm going to just hereby select my building, image, crop it to selection, file, save it as facade, so office, outside office facade. Now that's mine. But I also want to have the building next to it. I am going to just cut it out until here. Image crop. I'm not going to be removing the plant. All I'm going to do is remove the sky in the background. I'm going to try with the magic wand first. That's not bad actually. Let me play with my tolerance here. No, that's too much. Half of the building is gone. So that's a good part. Yeah, good enough. And now I am going to grab my eraser, rather big. I'm just going to go remove it. My objective, and I'll show you when we're back in XVR, is to be able to look at XVR sky instead of the sky of the picture. Alright, file, save as, office, this one, office, house, right, of office. Good. So now I've got a couple of outside images. Let's go back to XVR. Let me show you what that looks like. And I'm going to go the outside office facade. And this is my office facade. As you can see, that's the picture I just took. I can place another one, but if I don't want to scale again, what I can also very easily do, I just copy paste, and then I have a flat facade with more or less with exactly the same sizes, which I can much more easily change in height, because I know that this house which I'm going to place was rather high. Again, select another image, CrisisSim office, house to the right. And as you can see, it is starting to look good. Alright, so let me go to first person and have a look. As you can see, rather quickly it's starting to look rather realistic. And rather quickly I can make it look, oh, that's a bit very problematic. Let me make it this. There we go. Going back to first person. There we go. And we have a challenge. And as you can imagine, I can very quickly continue. So we have the front of my office outside and the gate and the building to the right in it. Let's assume now that we want to detail the building a bit more. And we want to be able to get firefighters on the roof. So we want to have a slanted roof and be able to climb on it. That would mean that I would have to use Object Creator to build more walls and a roof. So what I'm going to do right now is teach you how to trick that. Let's assume, if I look at the roof here, it's actually just roof tiles. Sorry, needed to look for the word. Roof tiles. Allow me to do this in Dutch. I'm going to find roof tiles images for you. I'm going to make the roof with an Object Creator, but without taking pictures in the real world. I'm just going to go into Google, find a nice picture of a series of roof tiles and copy and paste that. Okay, so now we have a rooftop and we have a brick wall. So let's go and place the roof on here. For the roof we will need a flat surface about the width and the height, let's see, and the length. Here we go. And I'm going to do it slightly rough right now. You see it's much too high, but I have a problem now. If I'm going to create a roof, I cannot have a roof in the image. Well, I had foreseen that, so I'm going to replace the image of the house with the roof with one in my CrisisSim office, which is house right of office no roof. And here it is. So now I don't have the roof anymore, I can put the roof on. Well, this roof is too high. What will happen now is if I select my tile black, it's too coarse. So as you can see, no, I can solve that. Sorry, I should have known that. There is a horizontal repeat tiling. So if this is too coarse, I can repeat the tile, for example 4 by 4, and it suddenly becomes much more realistic. Let me make it 3 by 3. So this is not a very unrealistic roof. I'm going to put it on. There we go. Lift it up. And as you can see, I've got the first side of the roof here. So, what is the objective of my story? If you spend enough time, you can actually build yourself detailed houses. This is exterior only. Let me just, for the fun of it, put a fire in here again. Here we go. And your building is on fire. Okay, let's have a look at the interior now. Interiors are generally much more difficult to do. I'll be speeding up the video from now on, so I'm not going to comment. I think you can follow along now that you know what the basis of everything is. Okay, I'm breaking the speed up just for a second because I want to show you, I want to be able to go inside the room, of course, that I am cutting up the pictures in such a way that I can actually physically place a door inside. So I am putting an interior door with a glass which can actually open. So that is an object from XVR that I can put in. Okay, I'm back again. And as I had predicted, XVR is not designed to actually do this. It's not designed to do interiors, but this is not a bad replica of my room. And now you're asking, why is the smoke not filling? Well, of course XVR can support that. Let me maximize the height here. There we go. So I'm maximizing it, and I am going to grab a smoke interior, make it smaller. So this is not really my office. I just created a complete facade with the ability to go inside somewhere. So give me a few more hours and I will have the whole street here and the interiors built up. Thank you. Do not hesitate to ask any questions.